You might want to say tonight, ladies and gentlemen, kicks off homecoming week on Sportswire Radio. And I'll explain because you're going to see a number of guests that maybe you haven't seen on, but have been staples in this platform's history over the past several years, and maybe most recently. And to kick things off, our guest is going to be a part of that homecoming week. And boy, does he have a lot to talk about here in the world of the EWA. And I hope he's had Listerine since we last saw him in the ring. First of all, I hope that boot he doesn't have to taste again. We'll talk about that later on. We'll also talk about Mr. Robert Scott. May or may not have had regrets, but he also guaranteed victory. And that Detroit Wrecking Crew, yeah, maybe we shouldn't have called them the Detroit Wrecking Crew, because right now, I mean, they got past your Guardians. My Mets aren't even playing in the postseason, and those Detroit Tigers are right now ahead of the Seattle Mariners in the best of 5 series in the American Division Series. So maybe we shouldn't have called them the Detroit Wrecking Crew, but we'll talk about Mr. Robert Scott. We'll talk about his future. We'll also talk about some names that came back that I never thought I'd see again in the underground wrestling circuit. How about that guy that once gave me a cameo on Sportswire Radio? Yeah, Big Man Cam. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about a match, well, that was kind of made on this platform, but, well, it happened in the EWA arena. That was a guy last name Forsaken against a guy last name Storm, not DJ, but Jason. Boulder Head. Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about some guy that's not Korn, but rather Kron, and how he had a 7-star match, but it was rather as a Velocity, but a first name Johnny. Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll also talk about maybe on a higher note for our guest here, that Carlos Jackson no longer is the eternal champion, and Kenny Ice Collins has certainly brought law and order back to the EWA. We'll talk about that. Plus, we'll get you ready for next week's Eternal taping and get you ready for the next big show here coming up. And boy, time certainly flies when you're having fun. And that's what we are doing here. We are giving you that summer heat wave vibes here on Sportswire Radio, because even though it may be a season of fall, for me, it still feels like the middle of July, because literally here in New York, they just set a record for a second straight day. It's 85 plus degrees, and I don't know why I closed my pool. I should go right back in it, but we're going to certainly continue those heat wave vibes. I've even got a surprise for our guest. No, Mr. Robert Scott's not coming on it. He already had his contractually obligated appearance here on Sportswire Radio. No, it's not the rest of the Detroit Wrecking Crew, although I hope that DJ Storm has been found for Mr. Robert Scott's sake for that guarantee. But in the famous words of Def Leppard frontman, let's get rocked, baby, and start this show off and close out this weekend here in style and get you ready for homecoming week on Sportswire Radio, the number one double radio station where all music and wrestling matters. The sirens are going off in the background from where I am, because they know they want to hear that intro. They want to get us going, and we're going to do it right now, because I've been waiting for our guests to come back on here, and let's get rocked. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one level sports show. A man that has been through it all in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit for 4 decades, and the man that we call the high authority here, and why we live it and love it in the EWA. His name is simply but the authority. dun, 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 dun. Hubie Jenkins. The high authority is here, my friend. How are we doing?
Yeah, we're doing okay. Maybe we've done a little better before, but
what's the matter? You didn't have a tuna dog today? I thought you would have had a tuna dog or two. No? Still with the taste of that boot? No tuna dogs?
altered the taste of my tuna dogs, I'll tell you that much.
Well, you know what? I'm not one to talk because the left side of my mouth had a tooth extracted, and the right side of my mouth, I now have to go get that fixed. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about certainly what happened to you because, everybody was talking about Thrill Mania 14. You were very confident on here. You were in a match stipulation where it was your environment. It was your home field environment. And, in some ways it was like the Tigers and Guardians. I hate to throw it out there because DJ Storm and somehow found a way. I was rooting for the Guardians just to put that out there. But DJ Storm did somehow find a way. And I have to show this footage shortly, but Hubie Jenkins, for those that are listening and watching in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you and the EWA have certainly helped build, where on earth do you go from here?
Well, I don't know if you saw, but I got I was doing good in that match.
You were. I watched the whole match. I watched it twice.
Instead of finishing them off, I wanted to please the crowd. I wanted to go back to my younger years. I kind of forgot. I just turned 43 years old.
No.
Can't climb the ropes like I used to. Barely could climb the ropes before, let alone now. That's all that it took. Making too many mistakes out there.
You guess you didn't listen to what Robert Scott said on Sportswire many times on here about rookie mistakes, and I guess you made the same mistake, which we're going to show that footage. Yeah, I mean, you got beat in a match that I think you controlled for about 2/3 of the way. I mean, I feel like in what we saw in the 8 or 9 minutes, about 2/3 of that match you controlled. Like you said, you were in control most of that match.
I thought I had him. I outsmarted him. I had my poop boot. It didn't say which poop boot was legal. But as soon as it got legal,
the first boot you had, and you hit him right over the head. I mean, in that case, that should have been over right after you clocked him. I mean, you clocked him more than, let's say, some of the Guardians lineup, other than Jose Ramirez this past week.
So you ask where I'm going from here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen our last couple of card postings, but you might not notice a certain name on there. Mine.
Yeah, I have.
Because
I have.
As of last week, I have deactivated myself from the EWA roster.
Well, I mean, it's been a trying time these last several months, and it hasn't gone the way you had hoped. And I guess the $1 million question is, as they would always say, is Father Time catching up with the high authority, Hubie Jenkins?
My heart's still in it, but when I got the Cleveland Wrecking Crew, and they're like, "Oh, you should retire," and I've heard they're garbage, and that doesn't affect me at all. But when I got personal friends like Zach Riot, when I got Octopi coming up to me and saying stuff like, "Oh, well, you should be thinking about the bigger picture," when I got them hinting towards maybe it's time to hang up those poop boots, it's time to rethink the situation, then I have to listen.
Well, I mean, listen, it's not been the success that you would have hoped for recently. And there does come a point, we're all sports fans here, right? And we struggle with this when we think about our favorite athletes, right? And so many athletes don't get to go out the way that they want. Sure, there's John Elway, who has the perfect retirement. Michael Jordan had it and kind of forgot about it. Tom Brady, kind of in between. I mean, there's many athletes. You can go Peyton Manning sort of had it, but he didn't really play a great game, but he went out on top. But there's very few athletes, or wrestlers, that go out on top. John Cena's last match is coming up here in 2 months. We know about Ric Flair. We know about Shawn Michaels, the people that had the send-offs and then, they came back or just kept going. So you might be facing that decision. You have done so much for our sport the last 4 decades. You have fought through a lot to bring the EWA back. The EWA's got a lot of momentum right now, a lot of interest. Subscribership is through the roof. Membership in the group is up through the roof, but maybe you're facing that decision that many great athletes and wrestlers have, and maybe it's that time.
Yeah, I don't want to shut the door yet, but let's just say the door's shut, but it's not locked. Maybe that's a good analogy for it.
Well, look, it's a tough decision. It's especially, we're going to put the footage up here in a minute, but losing a match that you were on here right before Thrillmania 14, and you were confident it's a match you hadn't lost in. This was a match that you felt good in. And during the match, you had DJ Storm pretty much right where you want him. You were almost toying with him. You were almost playing with him with like one of the cats you got. Basically, that's the kind of match it was. And basically, you lost, and that's where it's got to be frustrating.
I fell off the top, or I fell up the bottom rope. I couldn't get to the bottom rope anymore, Tom.
Well, listen, it happens. Listen, Father Time is undefeated. Not everybody could be like Sting even and have the perfect retirement. And I guess I don't know. Listen, in one hand, Robert Scott's guaranteeing victories, and you're deactivated. You're deactivated. To quote John Wick, you're being desecrated. You are being desecrated. And that's why we have to show this footage to learn why you have gone back and made this decision. I'm going to do that here. And especially if you're watching out here, please support and follow the EWA. I will also have some links up here shortly. But let's get to the footage because we are here.
Do we have to?
Well, it's going to allow me to transition to some other things where you'll probably have a lot more hopeful comments. But you are out here. So far, so good. So far, so good. New music and everybody's feeling good. You're excited. And, it's looking like at the moment. I hate to throw it out there. I'll even throw a shot at myself. This match was almost like the New York Mets season. It started great. Everybody was saying it's going to be, a season to remember. We're going to be playing deep into October. And, your match kind of had that same feeling. There was slippages, trip-ups, and they had that with the bullpen, the starting rotation. Yeah, we're throwing a lot of baseball references out there. What can I say? I've watched so much baseball the last 2 months. My head, all it sees is baseballs. But that's kind of what your season was in a nutshell with this match. I just hate to say it, but it started great and you look great so far, but it won't turn out so great. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I felt good. I don't know what to tell you, though. The beginning of it went good, and then I outsmarted him. I got that veteran experience and let him get the boot. Let him get the energy expended.
Did you maybe expect something or not expect something from him? Because like you said, you and I were talking about this off the air. You asked me, well, did you watch the match? And I said, yeah. I said, I watched it. You were in control for about 2/3 of the match. And was there something that caught you off guard or you didn't just think to do, whether it's the top rope or turn your back? And I don't know.
I felt good during the whole match. I thought when I had him outsmarted, when I hit him with the boot first, once I got the double boots on, I thought it was over. I honestly thought, like I said, playing with your food. Then instead of just going for the win, I wanted to make a big spectacular splash. I guess we haven't had a crowd that big in a long time, and I wanted to show them something.
A lot of people were excited. We were enthused about talking about it here on Sportswire, and you look good so far. You're moving pretty good so far right now. I got to tell you what, the first couple of minutes in, you've got the start that you exactly hoped for.
Oh yeah, like I said, I felt good at the beginning of it. I really couldn't climb the ropes that much, but that was never the plan.
Well,
I gave him that false sense of confidence.
About that, I mean, he hits you with a nice splash, and DJ uses his agility. He gets himself back in the match, but it's really not for long because DJ sort of, in his own way, gives you more time to come back, and you're pulling your own version of the Ultimate Warrior there with the ring shake, and I mean, that was what we expected from him, to make an unforced error, and you do pay for it kind of there, but DJ's just, he's clearly lost, and I could see why, because that was a move that backfired, and you're feeling good right now. You're talking to the crowd, you're smiling. I mean, like I said, you got the start you wanted.
Oh, for sure. I
You
definitely got the start I wanted.
you're moving spry, and even with DJ and his agility, even with his offense, he keeps going to the well to the same time, and he's going back to the same things, but what's to come. I think that shows your experience, and so far so good. That's all I can say. And nice little move there for you, sort of almost kind of an inverted bulldog there, and a very nice move. And I mean, you backfired a bit, but you're paying attention to Carlos Jackson. But Carlos is just standing. He's gonna have his own problems, though. Don't worry, karma does come back, because he did lose to Joe Payne. Spoiler: we talked about that a week and a half ago. But Carlos is on the background, but DJ is going back to the same place over and over. It's almost like, if at first don't succeed, at second don't succeed. But there you go, your own kind of choke slam there. You used your strength. And over, and I mean, so far, I mean, you definitely are in control, I gotta say.
Well, yeah, when it comes to the moves and it comes to the planning, I had it. It's like the Cleveland Browns. They always have a good first 15 plays, but then by the end they fall apart.
Well, I mean, Cleveland sports says, it is what it is. I mean, the Cavaliers, though, we'll not bring them up, because they do have a good team this year, but not the playoffs. But obviously, listen, you have gotten the start you wanted, and DJ does hit you there with a mini drop kick, and he's going back up high run. Yeah, up to the
low.
Low is very low. And his move set's kind of low in what he's doing. He's trying to go high. He's trying to go to the high rent district, and he got you there with the drop kick. He definitely got you. It's probably his best move of the night so far. Probably his best move. But
he did nail me with the drop kick. I'll give him that.
But it hurts him. It just shows you the inexperience of DJ Storm, because if I'm him, I'm attacking your legs. I'm attacking your knees. We know about your age. We know about your history. I would be going right for the knees, and he continues to go to the high rent district and gives you some time to stay on the ground, which eventually will help you come back in this match. Just inexperience, you could see unforced errors, and DJ's giving you time to come back up, and he's turned his back towards you. And I mean, this is exactly what you want to come back and get a second wind. Yeah, there you go. And I don't get it. I really don't get what DJ's doing here. But I guess it takes two to make a thing go right. But this is more like the fourth time he's gone to the same spot. And he's looking for the boot. He's got the boot. He has got the boot finally. But you got it instead. You intercepted that boot. You got the boot. Now you've got exactly what you wanted. And now it's time for you. This is where I listen. This was home run derby right here. Boy, we should have had you than some of the Guardians lineup. And that was painful. That was very painful there for DJ.
And I got more poop boot moves. I've been swinging poop boots since before that kid's been alive. So
you said that here a couple weeks ago, right before WrestleMania 14. And yeah, this is it. I mean, this should be it. This should be over. I mean, you clocked him into the 4th of July. I mean, going, gone. That's what he is right now. You can see the pain that he's in. I mean, you got the boot, and he was trying to go for. I would have continued to work on you, wear you down further, and that's why it backfired on him. I would have waited a little bit. That's why I had said I would not have turned my back toward you as many times as he did, but I mean, this should be over. I mean, this is exactly, you've got him right where you want him. Right where you want him. Right where you want him.
Oh yeah, I had him beat, but I just couldn't finish the job, and that's kind of been the theme lately. And if that's the case, and it's not that necessarily I lost the match.
No.
It's what happened after the match.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously now this is where things start to go a wire here. This is where things don't go right, and things that make you go, this is kind of where that moment is. You'd probably get that reference on that song. The rest of this chat would be like, yeah, that's not the song. You got the lights there, reminds me of it. But you're going, but you've given him too much time and it didn't work. I mean, I
can't watch this.
It's inexcusable. This is the definition of an unforced error. I love you, Hubie. I love having you on here. I love you being a part of Sportswire and our team. It's homecoming week, but that was painful. I mean, I don't know. Why did you want to go to the top rope?
I got caught up in the moment.
Well, boy, Ernest Weiner, Bernie Kosar, God rest his soul, Marty Schottenheimer, Brian Sipe. I mean, boy, they're all looking at you and saying, what? I mean, and that's kind of just what happened there. And DJ Storm defeated you in a match that you really had won. This is why, I mean, the turnbuckle, was there something there that you saw and that you had to go up to that turnbuckle? That's where the match, that's it. That's the one difference in the match. And now, yeah, you're tasting the boot. You're tasting it. Yeah. Yeah, it's tuna dogs weren't going on for a few days, I'm sure.
I can't watch this.
It's painful, I know. And, we feel so bad for you, Hubie. But thankfully, there is an old friend that has come back, that has got another friend to help you out. So at least it could have been even worse. But
right. Thankfully, my old high authority brother, Mike Kyoto, was in the crowd.
Thank God for that. Mike Kyoto, if it wasn't for him,
oh, man.
I mean, you might not even be on Sportswire. You might be still getting out that taste of those boots. I mean, you still might be. I
got rinse out my mouth watching this. Ugh.
Well, it's over now, but I mean, just it all comes down to going on that turnbuckle, and it was definitely an unforced error. Yeah, I could see why. I'm shocked you didn't throw up, and you could have threw up on Kill Shot Bang Bang. That would have been quite the bang bang on Kill Shot, who's had many moments on Sportswire over the past year and change, and even he's looking at you, and he's the guy that goes bang bang, and that was your bang bang moment. Boy, Hubie, I just, my heart goes out to you. Obviously, where this match, it's all over. It's just it goes back to just this moment and everything, and even further. You're going on it's over. This match is over, and yet the turnbuckle. Yeah, this is just Hubie. I really. We're gonna take it off the screen. We can't do that to you, Hubie. We love you, but I mean, I could see why you're deactivated.
And let's call it how it is. I don't come on here and I really don't cuss, but you might want to have that beeper ready, because I got to call it how I see it.
All right.
They put that poop boot in my mouth and made it like I was sucking a dick. And then they tried to shove that poop boot up my ass.
Yeah.
I don't come on here and cuss, and I don't come on and swear, but let's call it how we see it.
Well, we have a guest in your chair next Sunday who's probably going to throw a few barbs out there. His name is Anthony Steele, but you're not Anthony Steele. You're Hubie Jenkins. You're a high authority. You're a businessman and a promoter, and that was definitely not one of your memorable moments. We're going to look back on the time machine for sure.
I got about 17 years worth of stuff that I can look back that's better than that.
Absolutely. And you know what? And I'm so glad that you said that, because there is some content I would like to plug, which is the EWA's YouTube channel, which we got like 200 people on X watching, because my friend Ernest Dove, who has like 40,000 followers, decided to be a nice guy and share the link. But hit the sub button for the EWA. Let's get some more subs. We're almost at 200 members in the Facebook group. We're almost at 160 subs on YouTube. So do us a favor. Hit the sub button there, but you've got
just hit 19K views.
Well, let's get you 19K more views coming up in the
Yes.
next after this show. But yeah, that's not one of the moments in your illustrious 4-decade career that we're going to certainly go back and say, yeah, that would definitely be why you're in the Hall of Fame.
I look at that and I gotta think, you know what? Maybe it's time to rethink everything.
Well,
Maybe behind the scenes, the brains doesn't sound too bad.
Maybe talk to your old partner in the high authority, Mike Chioda, and maybe try this one more time.
And I know he's got the itch. Former 6-time UWA champion. So
you can't go out like this. You can't go out like this. We don't want to see you go out there. This is like Willie Mays, 1973, playing for the New York Mets, gets called out in the World Series. I mean, we can't see you go out like this. This is not the way that Hubie Jenkins, the high authority, should go. If this is going to be a thing where you're deactivated, I mean, I hope that you'll maybe reactivate yourself and have a higher moment or a higher note. Can we take you higher, to quote Creed? I mean, they came back. I mean, after all, they were gone for years and they decided to come back on a higher note, and maybe you'll eventually do the same. Who knows?
Hey, who knows? Time heals everything. So
time does heal all wounds in your mouth. Obviously starting to feel better. You'll eventually, I'm sure, get some of those tuna dogs you always talk about here on Sportswire. So obviously deactivated. So tough decision, but hopefully maybe things will change down the road.
Plus, with the expansion of the roster we've had, which you mentioned earlier,
we got some big names here. How about that? I mean, my goodness. I mean, how about Big Man Cam, first of all? Big Man Cam, who was the ROEW World Champion last year. I mean, he was supposed to have had a run that people were talking about for decades as the ROEW champion. Very impressive. One of the biggest men in the underground, a guy that has dominated. He has been a guy that has held serve on this platform many times. He even cut a cameo for me. And he returned. I was shocked to see Big Man Cam come back. That was one of the bigger moments, I think, this year in the underground.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, you never know who's going to show up in EWA. We had people from 5 different states. He wanted to make it a surprise, so I kept it on the hush-hush for him. And who knows? We might just see him again.
I would love to see him back out there because, I mean, he hadn't been in a ring in about 10 months. His last match was ROEW, and he wrestled, ironically, a man that also came to the EWA that has been a big figure on this platform for the past few years, and that's Jason Storm. We'll certainly get to him, but I would love to see Big Man Cam back here in the EWA because that was a cool moment. That I'm going to look back this year in 2025 and say that was one of the more memorable moments in the underground, seeing the return of the former world heavyweight champion, Big Man Cam.
Yeah, it was a thrill having him. I'd love to see him again in EWA.
He's a very charismatic fellow. He certainly loves to joke around. He is definitely a guy that shares his opinions. He definitely shares his opinion. He's voiced it on this platform many times, and I certainly would hope to see more of him. And I think he's got some unfinished business, especially after getting rolled up by Octopi.
And that's what I love to see, some of these big name underground guys against some of my EWA talent here.
I like it too. I think it's really cool. Let's see them test their skills against what your guys have been doing for years. I think it's a great idea.
Well, thank you, Tom. And yes, I'm trying to get as many diverse matches as I could find. I got to announce a couple here. We're going to go when we talk about the future here. So
we're going to do that in a few minutes. But yes, you can see Big Man Cam, and you can see more of him out there. And spoiler alert, Octopi got the win. But Big Man Cam, something tells me he'll be back. But I did want to spend a few minutes certainly on the match that was kind of set up on here, and you wound up taking the ball and running with it because these guys have shared a locker room quite a bit for a while. These guys have been in multiple companies together. These guys they in some ways I look at them when I think about where Sportswire is. I think about the 1,600 subscribers, getting the moment to have Rhino, Savio Vega here, Pitbull, Gary Wolf, all of these legendary heavy metal multi-platinum artists, and it's Jason Storm and Matthew Forsaken are the two guys that are right up there that helped build this platform. And you had a match that they've been in so many companies together, and it finally happened in your company, one of the biggest shows of the underground this year in Thrillmania 14.
Hey, I saw Jason Storm said, I'm coming for Matt Forsaken. I said, you know what? Hey, I got the platform for it. And wouldn't you know, dreams come true sometimes.
Well, I mean,
I threw out the idea, and wouldn't you know, they both bit.
Yeah, these guys have known each other for years. These guys have been in the same locker room together in multiple companies, and you made that match happen. And Jason Storm, this is one of his first matches after what he said here. I don't know what people believe or not believe. I'm going to leave that at that. But this is really where he came back to the ring. I mean, this was one of his returns to the ring. He's obviously the puppet master, and he has had some memorable moments in the underground. When I think about our generation, I think about the last 3 or 4 years in this generation of the backyard on the underground circuit. I say it all the time. He is one of the greatest champions of our generation, of our era. And you had him here. I mean, quite a moment in a match that a lot of people and myself have been screaming on rooftops to finally see, and you did it. You did it.
I think this is when they talk about me trying to be the mastermind, behind the scenes, trying to get superstars like this in the ring.
Yeah, well, I hope to see more superstars like Jason Storm back here in the EWA. Matthew Forsaken has certainly been building a nice home for himself here. You could see some of this match. We'll certainly come back to some more footage. And if you are here on Sportswire Radio, do me a favor, hit the sub button for the EWA, because there's somebody here in the chat that does want to say a few words to you, and I'm going to segue into him. You can see this match and the rest of the card. Trey Mysticality, or what was of Trey Mysticality, is on it. Obviously, this guy, Kron, or you call him Korn, and he definitely didn't have a clear in this match.
Kron.
Yeah, Kron, I know that. That's why I was just having fun. But Joe Payne, obviously, we talked about him. He had plenty of pain and gain winning the Eternal Championship. But there is a man that was a topic last, and that is this guy, Robert Scott, Mr. Robert Scott, who was the EWA champion, a two-time EWA champion, and a man that guaranteed victory with a match coming up next weekend that you put him in. I guess you're calling him the Cleveland Wrecking Crew. I call him the Detroit Wrecking Crew because they certainly had a bad experience. Maybe we should go back to calling him the Cleveland Wrecking Crew. But Mr. Robert Scott is here. And what did you think of a rather reflective Mr. Robert Scott in his last appearance here? I mean, I really don't know what to make of him and his brethren in the Cleveland Wrecking Crew.
I think he was bluffing.
He's bluffing.
I think he's got the man with the plan, and he was just trying to
get sympathy.
Yeah, they didn't have the most successful day at Thrillmania, but there's always a backup plan to the backup plan with those guys. I think you figure, oh, well, we're down right now, and then when they come out and they're not down, I think
well, you might be right. Now, as I'm sure you're aware of, I asked Mr. Robert Scott about the situation with DJ Storm and him being kidnapped, and I guess we'll find out what happens next week if we think he'll be returned to his rightful group. But I noticed Mr. Robert Scott didn't come out with the guys in DJ's match against you, and they didn't, Carlos didn't come out in the match that Mr. Scott had with Kenny Ice Collins. I mean, do you think everything's okay? And I got to ask, because I asked this question when Mr. Robert Scott was here at Sportswire, what does happen, though, if Mr. Robert Scott's guarantee of victory, well, he chokes? What happens if Mr. Robert Scott's guarantee doesn't come to fruition? What do you think there?
Well, I think that you got to watch out for Mr. King Weasel. I think even if they don't win, they'll be back, and they'll be back in numbers. and they'll try to cheat and they'll try to lie and they'll do whatever they can to get back on top.
I had asked him that. I'm glad you brought that up. Is that I had asked him those questions. Mr. Robert Scott, here's a man 23 years in this sport, has done so much. Here's a man that has shared locker rooms with the likes of, NWA legends, and a guy that has put so much into this sport, and a guy that was so respected. He had carried so much respect. And this is a man that when you hear his name, generally, you don't associate it with what Mr. Robert Scott had done to win the EWA championship not once but twice, and he threw it all away. And now, I still don't know how he could live with himself. He said he's got to start from the bottom, but he declared a guarantee. But I just don't know how you could throw away all of that respect and goodwill you had from everybody just for a hollow championship win or two. What do you think on that, Hubie?
Oh, I've done some pretty shady, undermined things to get that EWA title in my past, so I'm hardly the one to ask that.
Well, you're not right now doing those shady things, though. That was once upon a time when you were younger, in your younger days. Mr. Robert Scott's a 23-year veteran, all of a sudden made this change. Everybody talked about John Cena when he made the change, but John Cena saw what he did and his actions, and Hubie, I don't know about Robert Scott. Mr. Robert Scott, I just don't know what this man, what he can do and live with himself, considering now that, and he can't get a title shot. That was a stipulation for getting it back, and now he's going to be in 6-man tags going forward.
Well, he claims that, I went out there and faced Kenny one-on-one, man-to-man, but we all know Carlos was getting checked out in the medical staff. And then we found DJ about 3 days later locked in the Revolution Pizza bathroom. So Pat just ran him all the way to 2 miles down the road. So,
well,
I think that's why he was going out there one-on-one. I think that Patches kind of messed up that plan for him.
So you think that Mr. Robert Scott, he knew deep down he was in deep doo-doo?
Yes, I think he knew, and he's the first one to say it. He had to try to go for that knockout blow.
He did.
It didn't work, and that was it.
He talked about it, unforced error. I'm a veteran. He said, "I'm a veteran. I should know better."
I think he just figured I got to give it 100% right now. I got to go for the knockout hit, and if I can't get it, then I think that's kind of where he was with that.
Yeah, I guess. But I think ultimately what it comes down to is you traded the respect that you had in this sport and the values that you carried for a moment with a championship. And now you don't have it anymore. And now, in his words, he has to start over. He's going to the bottom. And now he's put the omen on himself, not to be confused with Omen Black, the IMF World Champion, but he has put an omen now of a burden that he's got to come through on this guarantee, because I would just shudder if I'm Carlos and DJ if Robert Scott's guarantee, it fails, and Robert Scott's even the reason why the Wrecking Crew lose. I don't know. The buck starts at the top. We look at it in sports all the time. We fire the manager. We trade the players. We fire the general manager. Robert Scott's basically done the same thing. He's called a guarantee, and this guarantee, it doesn't work out. Just saying.
Perfect analogy. I think the manager, he's got those guys thinking we're going to win. We're going to guarantee the win. He's got them drinking that Kool-Aid. And I think that's why he's the perfect third member to the crew. He gives them that direction. He gives them that mindfulness that maybe they didn't have before.
Yeah, he's a veteran. He's obviously been in a lot of places in this sport. He's definitely done a lot, but he no longer has that EWA championship. Before we get to everybody in the chat, we'll say hello, and there's some people here I want to get to, especially Mr. Robert Scott, but listen, I think he brings something to the group as the third man, but right now, he's walking away. In fact, none of them have gold anymore. Carlos lost the Eternal title to Joe Payne. Mr. Robert Scott no longer has the prize that everybody fights for in the great state of Ohio, the EWA Heavyweight Championship. And really, you should have completed the sweep. This should have been a 3-game sweep, really. And you had DJ Storm. You had him beat for minutes. If it wasn't for your own unforced error, this would have been a 3-game sweep.
Well, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Well, I guess we'll have to find out. Where do we go from here? And I mean, obviously, Robert Scott, well, this is where you went from here. And, you know, your days are numbered in this moment. We'll have to see what happens to him. And, you know, Carlos Jackson, too, another one. I mean, after the bullying, I guess, you know, sometimes when you bully someone, we talked about this here on Sportswire. When you bully someone, they fight back. And, well, Joe Payne fought back, and now he's got Carlos Jackson's Eternal Championship.
And I'm sure the Cleveland Wrecking Crew have something up their sleeve, Tom. Don't believe all this gloom and doom from them. I'm telling you,
I was confused because at moments there was that, in moments there was defiance. Maybe Robert Scott's a confused man. Maybe he's going through a midlife crisis. I famously remember my science teacher in high school, Mr. Pesson, and I never forget this, in Fort Hamilton High School in Brooklyn. He said, you know, there's a thing called a midlife crisis, and maybe Mr. Robert Scott in his career is going through that moment. I just don't know, because he seemed to say one thing, do another, and I mean, we'll have to find out, but he's not getting a shot at Kenny Ice Collins anytime soon. Nope. And then he also guaranteed victory on this platform, which guarantees go one way or they go the other. We've seen it all the time in sports. For your Mark Messier's, there's your Patrick Ewing's. You know, you can go up and down the list of guarantees in sports, and not all of them come to fruition. But we'll have to find out here what happens. It's time to get to some people in the chat. I want to give you something. I want to talk about some good news for a change in the EWA. Zilla is here first. Thank you, Zilla.
Hello, Zilla.
Here first. I bought you some time, and I said hi. And hello, I want to say hello to Princess Jade. And it's a homecoming week on Sportswire. I'm going to make a couple of announcements here first. And the first announcement is the resident rock star, Sean Jovi, is returning to Sportswire. Right. Yeah, I like him. He's the first backyard and underground wrestler I ever had on my platform. He's going to be back on here most likely Friday night. And he's got a few things to say. And
a Midwest guy, huh?
What's that?
A Midwest guy, right? If I'm not mistaken.
He is from Wisconsin. Yes, he is a guy that was in the GBYWN, which was a very, very legendary thing in the backyard circuit, and he was in that.
About it before. I was remember I posted videos when it was on MySpace.
Yes, Sean Jovi goes back. He went to Indiana. He went to a lot of places. ICW, and Sean Jovi is like it's him and Doc Holliday, like the last vestiges of the GBYWN, and he was the first backyard underground wrestler I had on here over 3 years ago, and he returns to this platform on homecoming week later this week. He'll have a few things to say. She'll want to tune in because Sean Jovi's wrestling her uncle, Soldier GP, and her favorite wrestlers, Justin Parsley, for the tag team championships there in Iowa. And Justin Parsley, I guess, may still be in your company because he was supposed to show up and then card subject to change. He's the hall monitor of Sportswire Radio, too, by the way. A lot of connections. Hubie, I hope his mouth tastes a little better at least. And hit the sub button for the EWA. We'd really appreciate that. And well, you can say hello to Big Man Cam, but he's not here right now. But Mr. Robert Scott would like to say, wow, Hubie is on the high horse again. And Mr. Robert Scott with a general image there. And almost is he channeling his own General Scott? I mean, the history buff he is, and says he's on, from his vantage point, you're on your high horse.
Well, I'll tell you about Robert Scott. I'm telling you right now, he's like a relief pitcher. We've been all this baseball analogy. A relief pitcher gives up that 3-1 home run. Guess what? You got to face that next batter. You got to forget about it just like that. So, don't let Robert Scott fool you. He's just has that same mindset.
I'm a Mets fan, and unfortunately, other than one reliever, none of my relievers really worked out. So we're not going to talk too much about bullpens because my team's bullpen stunk. But hello to Robert Scott.
I'm actually lineup stunk.
Well, you know what? You guys did have one really bad inning in the third game, but your starting pitchers just didn't go deep. I was like, come on, let's go, guys. But well, we'll have to see what happens. Speaking of people, though, that I do want to talk about that came on here and announced that he's a part of the company. He is training, and that's a guy that I did kind of mention, Mr. Bang Bang himself, Killshot. So what's your impression to Killshot here so far? He debuted. He was in that Rumble. He's training a little bit. He talked about
in the Rumble, as you like to say, the New York Minute.
The New York Minute. Literally, he was in there for a New York Minute. So, what do you think about Killshot, and what can we expect from him? Let's say.
He's got a couple trainings in now. Let's just say I've definitely seen worse. I was pretty impressed his first couple times out.
Okay.
So, he's getting it. He's working really hard. He's really dedicated. So I'll give it to the kid.
Okay.
And you never know. Maybe there's eternal taping. Might actually see Killshot in there.
Well, you know what? I've seen quite an infusion of promo wrestlers going around in different places, and he is from your state alongside an Unforgiven Soul and a last name Titus, who are back on here next Monday. So I guess we'll have to see what happens there. So bang, bang. And yes,
and he's in that eternal training. So
I watched Killshot in the Rumble, and well, we'll see more of him, I think, between then and in the next few weeks. Threw it away. Don't think so. I guess he didn't. So he didn't throw anything away. That's what he thinks.
Well, and sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get that EWA championship too. Hey, you're in the record books. You're immortalized.
I'll tell you what. That's a good point. You know what? You are a world champion. You've been now not once but twice. And can't take it away from Mr. Robert Scott. Cannot take it away from his Hall of Fame career.
One of 34 people won that EWA titles at least one time.
There's not many people that can say that, and he's one of those people. So I can't knock it. I can't knock it. I talk about it all the time in this sport. By any means necessary, it's a dog-eat-dog world. I always go back to my uncle said, Ace, it's a dog-eat-dog world. And I used to look at it, and I was like, what is he saying? And all these years later, it's in my head still. So Mr. Robert Scott, he did something that I didn't do, and some people in the chat haven't done. So who am I to judge? Speaking of people, though, that are also from the state that Mr. Robert Scott resides from, like I am, and he shared a locker room with him, Mr. Torrance Banks, the big dog, and you could see he's a Buffalo Bills fan, but he also wants to say maybe we need to bring a big dog here in the EWA. I mean, you've got an expanded roster. You've had plenty of underground stars, and Torrance Banks is another one from my state.
Interesting. I might have to.
I'll send you his info.
I might have to do some messages after this.
I'll send you some info, and he knows Robert Scott. He has shared a lot with Robert Scott. But also you could look at it and say maybe he can give you some intel on Robert Scott. Maybe he knows something about Robert Scott that other guys don't know. Maybe he knows something that the Cleveland Wrecking Crew don't know. I would also even argue that those who are at home, they know better or what's best than anybody else. And he was in a home. He was in a home company that, Mr. Robert Scott had a moment in that he obviously couldn't get stuck out of, which it was true. Obviously we'll have to find out. And Mr. Robert Scott agreed. I don't know what exactly he agreed on, but we'll find out. And, yes, I went for broke. I learned my lesson. Well, you learned. You definitely learned. And also, I think he meant to say Killshot, best stay out of our way. Accidents happen. So, you know what? I would have to say that is a good point because I think even though Killshot might be Mr. Bang Bang, I don't think quite that his Bang Bang will come close to what a Cleveland Wrecking Crew could do. So maybe Mr. Robert Scott actually, for once, I would fully agree with him on that.
I would tell anybody to stay clear of the Cleveland Wrecking Crew, but that's just me.
Well, you know what? Joe Payne's going to see them again, and he took the Eternal Championship. And, Kenny Ice Collins got his kickback. And also, now, Mr. Banks knows. He certainly knows Mr. Scott. And he said no one is afraid of Robert. That's what he says. He knows him.
Oh, there you go.
He knows
Okay.
him. So I told you he's got intel, and I'll connect you with him. Don't you worry. Yeah, that's what he meant to say. And congratulations to Mr. Banks, because outside the ring, well, now he's a very happy man. He's a happy man. He's got a new relationship, and congratulations to Mr. Banks. He's definitely now wanted. He's really wanted now. But maybe it's a good time. I want to segue. I want to give you something. I want to give the EWA something, and then we'll maybe talk about the future here, because there is a lot of things to get into over the next 20 or 30 minutes. And if you are here, hit the sub button for the EWA on YouTube. Follow them on Patreon, and you can see more footage of them, because it is wrong one. That's the wrong one. I have it here right in front of me. Oh, I don't know why I don't have it in front of me. Okay, now it'll come up. Okay.
What got me, Reverend?
I have something for you guys, but Zillis has a load of torrents, Banks, and we'll get it back up here shortly. But for whatever reason, my internet doesn't see it. I don't know why I'm not recognized. But yeah, obviously, if you are here though, in the meantime, do follow the EWA. Like I said, they have a Patreon page, the Facebook group. Some of you have probably been invited by it. So join it, and you'll live it, love it, live, love, and love the EWA. I think now we're going to get the certificate up here. Now this is going to be removed.
2 YouTube pages and a Patreon and Facebook.
Yep.
So
and
a lot of places to see your EWA.
And there's somebody else that wants to say hello who I really want to hear your opinion on. But before I do that here, now I think this should come up now, finally. There we go. That's much better. It's EWA Day on Sportswire. That's what we wanted to show on the screen. There you go. Yeah, that's what I had up my sleeve. So, I know you've been giving you awards recently, but you know the deal on Sportswire. We don't let people walk away empty-handed, even though you walked away empty-handed. Well, actually, no, you didn't walk away empty. You had a boot actually in your face.
Yeah, I love it. My hands are empty.
Well, Listerine does come in handy. I always have mouthwash around. But speaking of people I really want to get your opinion on, a man, like I said, we talked about earlier, who has made quite a name for himself, one of the greatest champions of this generation, and you had him, and that is the puppet master, Jason Storm. Now that he's here, he was here a little over a month ago, and everybody talks when Jason Storm says something. What would you want to say to this fellow? I would hope that this man returns to your company. I know he's a busy man. What do you want to say to him?
Well, I want to welcome him back. Am I allowed to spill the beans here?
We don't have to do it. He's the puppet master. He may not want us to do it.
Okay.
Well, we'll see what the puppet master says. But obviously, you did.
I could definitely say he's invited to come back, and he's considering it.
That's probably nice of him. Obviously, I hear right now that Soldier GP and the IMF certainly wants to meet him, but that doesn't certainly interfere with us. We'd love to see him back in the EWA, and he's got unfinished business. There's no question. He has unfinished business with Matthew Forsaken, a man that has become quite a bit of a member of your company, who's certainly, we're all Forsaken when we're around him. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. He's moving up them ranks.
Well, he is. And also, we'll come back to the puppet master, but Killshot wants to say, look, I've never been afraid of fighting a New Yorker. Step 2, a Cleveland's going to come and get it. So I guess he's already saying that he ain't afraid of Mr. Robert Scott. Is that a good move for him? I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, I try to avoid those fools as long as I could.
Yeah, well, you paid for that, literally. Mm. But also, Mr. Storm would like to say this, and I want to give Mr. Storm the opportunity, because he is one of the founding fathers of this generation's underground circuit, and he's a man that helped build my platform. And even though at times he didn't want to come on Sportswire, but he's the puppet master, so he'll pull my string anytime on this comment. I'll say this. I don't want to end my EWA run on a loss. I have idiots from Iowa. Those are his words, not mine, hunting me down right now. So I've been in, I won't say hiding, but once all is resolved, I'm open. what do you think about that comment?
Let's just say, yeah, we've been in talks. We're trying to work something out. He's not afraid. He's not hiding from anybody. I can tell you that much. I believe him when he says that.
Yes,
he'll go down fighting. I truly believe that one.
Well, he's got obviously some things on his mind. Can't blame him for that. He's obviously concerned about situations, and he's going to deal with it the way he knows best. But I think I would love to see him back in a ring anywhere that is. And for one, the EWA's ring, because I think the EWA's ring would be a ring that a lot of people would like to see him in, no doubt.
Oh, yeah, it was great seeing him. And we'll just say you'll probably see him again.
Well,
he wants to come back. I want him to come back. There's the two main ingredients. So,
well, you know what? I'm sure the meeting of the minds will do that. I'm going to put your Patreon link up here in a minute. But Mr. Robert Scott, now the chat's starting to come in here, and I see it now. Not smart. You're a target now. Kill shot. Mr. Bang Bang is definitely going to feel the bang bang from Mr. Robert Scott and that Wrecking Crew. So yeah, maybe not so smart a move of Killer Shot. This is definitely not the promo wrestling world, but we've got a Patreon page for the EWA, and you better live it, love it. Subscribe to the EWA's page. I have subscribed. You should too. There's a lot of footage, content coming up. And you need to
content too controversial taking off of YouTube because it's too controversial for the YouTube platform.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I yesterday had on a guy, Flesh Wound Dan, and he has a deathmatch tournament he's promoting next weekend, and it is called the Last Tournament on the Left. And there's stuff that there is a sleepaway camp deathmatch. There's a House of 10,000 thumbstacks, and let's just say, yeah, kids don't try this at home when it comes to what he's promoting. So, yeah, I get that picture. I even said to him, can I talk about some of these things on Sportswire? And the promoter said no. So, yeah, we don't want to get canceled on here. But so Jason Storm said he forgot about Killshot until right now. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it sounds like maybe Killshot should think.
Coming to target real fast here.
Well, that's why I'm always, careful what I say. But Killshot, well, yeah, he might be the target, and the only difference is he's not the one firing the shots here. All right, so we've talked a bit about a number of different things here. We'll get to some people. I see. We'll come back to their comments. But so we've got some shows coming up. We know you were here last Thursday, and we talked about the 6-man tag as announced. We have an Eternal taping coming up next weekend, and we have another big show at the end of the month.
Yep, we got Maxed Out at the end of the month. We got an Eternal taping. We got 2 more shows before we kind of slow down for the winter months, but we still will be doing 1 taping a month instead of 2.
Oh, okay. So you can still come on Sportswire, still hopefully, right?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, good. We need the content. But so we got 2 big. This is the last month we're gonna have 2 shows. That's what I got. That's what I got.
Until it's springtime, but yes.
Okay. So this is a very big month here in the EWA. We've got next weekend, and then we've got the 26th. So the 26th, you said, is called Maxed Out?
Yes. It's an event, basically, when we do all of our events, we have Maxed Out because we maxed out all the other events, so...
Well, you know what? That's like, my mother, who's not watching this, will definitely not say anything. It's like when she maxed out her credit cards years ago.
I'm not going to go there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't done that. My bank account's too big. But, when I was a little kid, I remember my parents maxing out on the credit card. So, yeah, that's like what my mom used to max out on the credit card. The only difference now is she's now taking my credit card. So that's okay. But maxed out. So it seems to me like we'll see a lot of people, right? Because the term maxed out sounds like we'll see a lot of people coming up in a few short weeks, right? Unless I'm missing it, because I don't know a lot about things. I'm not very intelligent, but I think
I'm glad you mentioned that. One of the big buying points of Maxed Out is the Revolution Ruckus Battle Royal.
And I think our friends Revolution Pizza sponsoring that, correct?
Yes. Sponsored by our friends at Revolution Pizza. 15-man out of the ring battle royal.
15
with
men?
The winner getting 15. And we're talking a lot of those guys you were mentioning here earlier, you'll see in that battle royal as well.
So these are guys that most likely I personally know.
Oh, yeah, yes. We're talking some of the biggest names in the underground scene and some of the big names in the EWA as well.
I think I know some of the big names in the EWA too. I mean, there's a lot of guys in EWA we've talked about. So I'm going to be really interested in watching this, I would think.
With the winner getting an Eternal title shot at Eternal Tapings 5, which will be in November.
So that you mean to tell me the winner of this is going to get a shot at the moment right now, Joe Payne?
Yes.
Ooh, boy!
The main event of the Eternal Tapings.
Wow. I mean, that could be anybody. That could be anybody of anywhere. You said names that I know are going to be there. So, I mean, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to get into that. You know, I'm sure we'll have some guys come on that week of the 26th. I'm sure we can spare a day and maybe bring some people on to talk about that show. I'm sure you would be kind enough as the high authority to grant us that opportunity. I would certainly hope and appreciate that. I would live and like and love that opportunity. You get my drift. But it sounds to me that's going to be a very exciting time ahead.
Yep, we got that. We're going to have a title defense, an open challenge from Kenny Ice Collins.
Ooh.
Since there is no return match with Mr. Robert Scott.
He gave it all up. He gave it all away. I mean, he just gave it up. No more. No mas. Could be anybody. Wow. That's interesting. That's very exciting. And, you know, if you are here on Sportswire, that's also a reason why you need to hit the sub button for the EWA. But that's also, we know since you're deactivated, I would think that would prelude you from being in that 15-man battle royal. Huh?
Yeah. I unfortunately will not be one of those faces in that battle royal, but plenty of other familiar faces. So
I'm sure people I know very well, and I'll get to some more comments. That's exciting. And we have an Eternal 4 taping next week, and we know the 6-man tag is one of those matches are announced because we talked about that last week on the show, and that's the EWA YouTube page. So if you are here right now and you haven't hit the sub button for the EWA, go out and do it right now. Go out and do it now. And also, Robert Scott wants to remind you that Joe Payne will be without the Eternal Championship.
Like I said, what has this guy got planned now?
Well, his photo picture would tell me a lot. I mean, he's from my state, so who knows? I mean,
what kind of cryptic message is that from Robert Scott?
I would say stay tuned. It's Jason Storm and Killshot are going back and forth. I mean, that's, I would say, interesting. And Jacob Collins, by the way, for a minute, real quick. What did you think about Jacob Collins? He took me almost by storm or surprise in his actions, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that coming. Yeah, he had a good performance. And
he's a good wrestler. I like Jacob. I've always liked
he just lose it. I don't know.
I didn't know he had that.
See real chill backstage, and then after the match,
he had that kind of attitude. I've known Jacob, almost 2.5 years. He's been on my platform. He's a former world champion. Jacob Collins is a gunslinger who's traveled. He has traveled to a number of places. I just didn't know he had that kind of attitude in him. Who would have guessed?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it coming, but hey, sometimes, you just get that frustrated. That All Wrestling Matters title is one of the most prestigious prizes in the underground scene.
It was.
And who knows if you're ever going to get another shot at it,
Absolutely. Listen, I mean, any championship in our sport you want to fight for, you want to compete for, and Jacob has been a world champion. He has held other championships, and it had been a minute since he had won a title. And I guess the moral of the story there was he saw an opportunity, and he and Kron had been friends for a long time. I mean, there had been such a admiration. Jacob,
I know Kron brought him to be his tag team partner.
Yeah, and Jacob had, like I said, he has been on here in the past and talked about his fondness of Kron, how much he looked forward and loved the Underground OG Dark Kron. And also, Mr. Robert Scott says, "Don't worry, I have an idea." That can't be good.
You see what I mean? There's always a plan. Don't let him say, "Oh, I'm confused." Don't buy into that BS.
Well, Ozzy famously had a song, "Don't ask me, I don't know. Don't ask me," but he knows though, and I'm not going to ask you. All right, so we've talked about a number of things. I want to say hello also to my buddy Skulls. Skulls is doing some refereeing now in the great state of California and elsewhere. He's been on my platform. He's on the way back up. He's made a lot of progress, a lot of improvement. Want to say hello to him. And if you are here, by the way, like Skulls and others, and you're here for the first time, hit the sub button for the EWA and trying to get them some more subs, trying to build up their numbers. If you're also out there on Facebook, I will send you an invite to their group. They have almost 200 members now. So if you hear Skulls, hit the sub button for the EWA. Skulls has traveled. Maybe he'll do some refereeing. Maybe he'll do some wrestling. Who knows? And he's had quite a journey. Thank you, Skulls. Hit the sub button for the EWA. All right. So is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything else that I haven't got a chance to cover tonight?
Okay, well, I promised you a big announcement. It's a big announcement time.
All right. I got some people here. We got people in the chat. So I want to hear it. What do you got for me?
So as you saw, we had some of our guys at the EFW dojo.
Yes, I did see that in the group chat. Yes.
Yep, they had an open tryout. They had an open roster spot or two. So I want to congratulate the grand prize winner, Patches the Clown, who will be wrestling Kano.
Mr. Robert Scott spoke about him plenty last week.
So I want to congratulate him.
Absolutely.
He was picked the number one. He was picked the winner of the training. And he will be at their big event November 1st. You can see it on Thriller TV.
Yes, I know Thriller TV very much. I've
So
spoken
yeah,
about
you can see Patches the Clown on there live. One of the biggest shows in Cleveland all year.
Absolutely.
One of the biggest federations, indie feds in Cleveland. Starts from all over the U.S.
And you know, I cover a lot of wrestling in Ohio, by the way. SCW, Pro Wrestling Cheap Shots. Sorry about Mr. Mustache, by the way.
Hey, I like Draven. I was rooting for her, but sometimes, he got that shot against Spike for the world title and just came up a little short.
Yeah.
The numbers getting caught up to him. And you know who's part of those numbers?
Yes.
Who helped Spike? Mr. Robert Scott.
Well, that's why Mr. Robert Scott is here right now. He always has an idea. But yeah, I had to say sorry about that. But I do want to congratulate Ampo the Destroyer and Day Jameson. Ampo and Day are the new SCW Tag Team Champions. And they have been looking for those championships for about 4 months. And they spoke a lot about that on Friday's show. What a small world. So congratulations to Patch. So we're going to see him November 1st, Triller TV. I have covered some stuff on Triller TV. So that's exciting. So we'll see, I'm sure, some more talent in that dojo. You've talked about that dojo here on Sportswire in the past. So I think that's very cool. So that's exciting.
And I also made a big signing or big contract signing with them. We will be having 4 events at the dojo.
Whoa, 4?
Not
3, not 2, not 1, but 4?
We'll be doing seasonal shows there.
Wow.
I talked to the Vanilla Gorilla, Nick Bashir himself.
Okay, I know.
Famous MMA fighter and multi-time champion. He's actually wrestling on that show, Vinny Maverick, who is also a former EWA.
Yeah, I know Vinny Maverick. I know him. I know Vinny Maverick.
He's also a former EWA heavyweight champion. So
wow. I gotta sit there and just watch the EWA footage like the WWE Network used to be.
I guess so. Yeah, you'll see some of those title defenses.
I gotta do that. Yeah, between the GBYWN footage and the EWA footage, I think at this point, I don't even watch WWE anymore. No, seriously, I just don't. But that's exciting. 4 events, seasonal events. That's really cool. Congratulations, boy. That's exciting. I mean, to see the guys wrestle. We talked about this before in the dojo, but now 4 events, boy. Congratulations there. That's exciting. Very exciting. You are the high authority for a reason. Maybe you should stay deactivated.
Sorry, I just wanted to confirm here with the other EWA higher up, so we should be getting this message.
Totally understand. You don't want to say anything that you might regret, but I do have a button for you. I should pull out before we get to other things, which is this. Congratulations. Congratulations there, Hubie. Congratulations. That's well done. Well done. And Robert Scott says he has a contingency plan. Oh, well, we'll find out more about that. I think I have a feeling we're going to do a show before the 26th. You said the 26th. I think we'll get some guys on here that week and we'll talk about some of this. I have a strong feeling that's awesome. And one more time, Eternal taping next weekend. Maxed out the 26th. No, it's not someone's credit card. It's maxed out because of the amount of talent.
We're maxed out of events.
A 15-man battle royal to determine the number 1 contender to the Eternal Championship. And that's going to include guys that I know. Guys that have been staples on this puppet, along with EWA stars. So that could be anybody. Could be anybody. Brilliant.
Yeah. People definitely you're familiar with.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure people that want to hang me. And all right, anything else that you want to talk about or discuss before I get to closing thoughts? I mean, we've talked plenty tonight. We ran your situation, which we got out of the way. Yeah. We talked a lot about Mr. Robert Scott. We've talked about some other guys here, Jason Storm, who I would love to see back in the EWA. You know, we talked about Killshot, Mr. Bang Bang. You know, I know I hear from a birdie that maybe we'll see the likes of Thomas Titus and Hunter, the Unforgiven Soul. They'll be here next Monday. So I'm going to put them on the spot and ask them about the EWA because we talked about that with them. Yep, we talked about that with them. So, I mean, you know, we talked a lot. I mean, anything else I should know about before on another EWA Day episode on Sportswire?
Let me just make sure this is right here, but
yeah.
It will be Sunday, December 7th. No Boundaries 17 will be the first.
Day. Never forget.
Got No Boundaries 17. It will be the first of those 4 installments in the dojo. And I'm happy to say that the decades that EWA has been around, this is the first time I can say this with all the events we've had, over 240 plus by that time. Tickets are on sale now for No Boundaries 17.
You know what? I'm gonna do something. We're live. We're live in prime time on the Briar Slice, the biggest stage. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. December 7th, right? First show, you're selling tickets. I'm gonna donate 1 ticket. I'm gonna donate a ticket.
All right.
So you give me the link. We're gonna have You're gonna put the link up before December 7th. And you'll have one of those Eventbrites. I will donate 1 ticket to that show because what I do is I want to see somebody, the fan, somebody else that wants to watch wrestling to go to that show. I do it with the IMF shows, TF Crew. I've done it with a lot of companies over the years. I will donate 1 ticket at the minimum for your show.
And we're not trying to break the bank here. $5 in advance, $10 at the door.
In that case, I'll donate multiple tickets. $5. I will donate 2. Well, $5, yeah.
We're not trying to break the bank here. I'm trying to make enough money I could give some of the wrestlers some gas money to get home. Give them their share.
I'll donate tickets because you know why? Those wrestlers will come back on Sportswire once I donate them tickets.
So yes, we'll have to announce first time in EW history.
It's a win-win.
Tickets on sale now.
Well, I can't wait. So congratulations on that. We will definitely donate a couple of tickets. That'll be December 7th. We'll definitely promote that a lot. That'll be awesome. That's great. I love that.
I want to announce, because Mr. Kenny Collins had an open contract for that one. Well, that one got snagged up real fast. So the main event open contract that Kenny Collins, his opponent has signed, it will be Kenny Collins versus Matthew Forsaken.
Whoa, Matthew Forsaken!
EWA as we talked about trying to get these underground guys against the big EWA stars. There it is.
That's a dream match. Matthew Forsaken?
Matthew Forsaken, Kenny Collins.
Whoa!
EWA Heavyweight Championship match.
Matthew Forsaken. That is a guy. He just defeated Jason Storm, who's considered to be one of the greatest underground champions of our generation. He's been in the ring with countless guys that have been champions in the underground circuit the last several years. And he's going up against Kenny Ice Collins? Wow. Now I'm definitely doing it. Listen, I would go and watch that show if I was a fan even. Just to watch that match alone.
Well, you can catch it on Facebook Live. You can catch it on Scary Perry TikTok. So if you want to watch it live, we got plenty of options.
Well, you know what? We're going to definitely watch it. We're going to play that match. I think Kenny, they'll come on and talk about it. Skulls just gave you a subscription. I'll send you Skulls info. We're off the air. Thank you, Skulls. Thank you very much. Skulls and I have been talking a lot recently. It's always good to hear from Skulls, and I always appreciated his support, and I'm glad he's doing well, and it's great to connect with a lot of people or reconnect with people. Thank you, Skulls. And that's the EWA's page. All right. Wow. You know what? You definitely saved the best for last. You saved the best for last. And that Matthew Forsaken, Kenny Ice Collins, December 7th, No Boundaries, EWA live show. Tickets are on sale, just $5. Yeah, I'm donating multiple tickets for that. I, as a fan, would want to watch that. That is a dream match. That's just, I don't care if it's underground, independent, pro. That's a dream match. I mean, wow. That's, boy, we should have had you, maybe calling the shots during the Guardians Tigers series, especially. Well, I mean, you called it. An ace right up your sleeve there. I mean, boy, if the starting rotation could have been a little better there. But listen, great way to end the show. And if you are here, hit the sub button for the EWA Patreon page. We appreciate everybody's support. A lot of exciting things in the EWA, and we'll have everybody back on here in a couple of weeks. I will also ask people throughout. We have homecoming week this week. James Taylor is back on. Should be tomorrow night. Comatose will be on here Thursday night. We'll have Sean Jovi Friday. This guy Anthony Steele will be on here Sunday. So a lot of guys that you haven't seen on a while on Sportswire coming back on. Hubie, even though he's only been on here for a few months, it feels like you've been on here a lot. So we started homecoming week with you, and I couldn't think of a better person. Yeah, well, no, it's an honor to have you on here. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all you do for just supporting all wrestling matters. That's why it's EWA Day on all Sportswire radio platforms. I'll give you the physical copy off the air. And let me give you the floor. Let me give you some closing thoughts and anything else you want to plug, share, or say. Take it away.
Well, I figure I'll just write my parting words is, now that I'm behind the scenes, now that I'm deactivated, no hyping me. I could just hype these events. October 12th, Eternal Taping 4. We got October 26th is maxed out. I can't remember. The third Sunday in November, we'll have that Eternal Taping 5 with the winner of the Revolution Ruckus Battle Royal.
16th of November from them. The 16th of November. That's the 16th.
I think it's the week after that, the 23rd.
Okay, 23rd.
It's the 23rd of November will be that Eternal Taping.
Thanksgiving comes later this year. Thanksgiving is later in the year.
Right, I think it's
like the 27th or something like that. So that makes sense. Okay, 23rd. So you got the 23rd of November, and then you've got the live show December 7th.
The mega event there at the EFW Dojo.
Wow.
Tickets on sale now. That will end our calendar year. And stay tuned for next year because we're hoping to have 20 events next year. So
wow, 20
between
events.
The tapings and the named events, we're hoping to get 20. So
I think you will. And congratulations to Patches as well. 20 events. Congratulations there. And maybe you'll feel a little better about the Detroit Tigers losing today. They just did. And you hit the sub button for the EWA on YouTube. And some great things. Love hearing that positivity. Love hearing about those events. We got a lot of them here. We'll have a lot more coverage on Sportswire still for what's left of the year. And time is flying because it's already October 5th and the end of the year is coming up. But in the meantime, we got plenty of coverage here to talk about. We'll have a bunch of the guys before the 26th from the EWA talk about what's ahead. You know, Mr. Robert Scott's going to be chirping. You know, somewhere Carlos Jackson's going to be lurking. You know, some names from my platform that are showing up in the EWA. We'll be finding a way to talk about this. So in the meantime, please support the EWA. And I do want to also make an announcement. I actually will have on the guitarist for the band, for the singer Jeff Tate, who sang for the band Queensryche. I have Kieran Robertson on my platform. Yep, so that's a good one. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be actually
one of my older brother's favorite.
Yeah, out of the hat, and my birthday's Tuesday, so this seems like a good birthday gift. So we'll see.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to mention it, but I feel like I'm going to have to mention it. But nevertheless, no, that'll be a good one. But we're excited. We have some great shows, and you kick things off for us this week with Homecoming Week on Sportswire Radio. And I appreciate you, Hubie, for all you're doing for our sport. And I'll connect you with some of these guys we spoke with tonight. I'll give you this when we're off the air. And congratulations. Looking forward to some of the stuff to promote for the rest of the year. And thank you as always. And I'm sure I'll probably see you before the 26th.
Always a pleasure, Tom. Mr. Reverend.
There you go. You don't have to call me that, but that's okay. You can call me Reverend. You can call me Al, to quote that Paul Simon song. But no, we're not going to do the video. But no, nevertheless, that is Hubie Jenkins. He's the high authority, and he ran down what's ahead here in the future of the EWA. And we're going to live it, love it, because the EWA has got an Eternal 4 taping coming up next Saturday. Then on the 26th of October. They're going to have the Maxed Out Show, which is going to be a 15-man battle royal to determine the number one contender to the Eternal Championship. You will not want to miss that. Trust me, you will not want to miss that. And please support the EWA on all Sportswire Radio platforms, which you can find them on Patreon, the Facebook group, YouTube. Hit the sub. They have 2 YouTube channels, so sub to them both. Sub to everything that's related to the guys on the platform there. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, with all music and wrestling matters. If you're here on Sportswire Radio, I'll be back here around tomorrow night. Thank you, Mr. Robinson. But he didn't say have a good night, Hubie, though. He didn't say have a good night, Hubie.
Well, why would he do that?
Well, because I thought he would be a gentleman. I thought he would still want for his high authority. Wish him. Maybe he's got also in the back of his mind your victory over him not too long ago. Maybe so. But fellow New Yorker, obviously love my state, but nevertheless, he didn't wish you have a good night. But that's okay. I'll wish you a good night, Hubie.
That's all that matters.
We thank you. All wrestling and all goodbyes matters and all good nights matter. But thank you, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow around 10 o'clock Eastern time. And until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one, Global Radio, there's Sportswire Radio. Oh, music and wrestling. Actually, by the way, he said you too, Hubie. He changed his mind.
Hey, there you go.
He said, by the way, he did say last time he was on here, he's not so bad of a guy. So I guess he confirmed he's not so bad of a guy.
I mean, even the black heart's a heart, right?
Well, he had it in him, so you know what? I'll give him his due. I think a lot of people may as well, but he's still on the clock for his guarantee. But thank you, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Live it, love it. Sub to the EWA. Follow him on